Hello everyone and welcome to today's class. In the last class, we talked about how the spontaneity of the system is affected by the change in the enthalpy and another term known as the randomness of the system. We learned that when the change in the enthalpy decreases, delta H decreases of the system after the process, or the randomness of the system increases, the process becomes spontaneous. So this randomness of the system, if increases, gives the spontaneity of the chemical thermodynamic process. But how we are going to measure this randomness increasing increasing the randomness or the decrease in the randomness? How we are going to define, how we are going to observe these, mathematically observe this randomness of the system? To observe this randomness of the system, to define the randomness of the system, to determine the randomness of the system, a new thermodynamic property has been assigned to it, known as the entropy. By definition, entropy is the state function, a state property which state property which define as which determine, which measures the randomness of the system. It is defined as capital S, and the change in the entropy define the change in the randomness of the system, measure the change in the randomness of the system during a chemical process, and mathematically it is given as a delta S equals to delta ds equals to delta Q reversible divided by T. The ratio between the reversible heat exchange between the system and the surroundings during the thermodynamic process at constant temperature by the temperature of the system. These two ratio gives the change in the entropy of a thermodynamic process during a thermodynamic process. So mathematically, the change in the entropy is given as ds equals to delta Q reversible by T. Delta Q reversible is the reversible heat exchange between the system and the surroundings during reversible process, and T is the constant temperature at which the process is occurring. Now, when we are integrating this factor, we will get the finite amount of change in the entropy of the system. T is a constant term, 1 by T integration sign, initial state to final state, the integration will occur delta Q reversible. This will give the value of finite amount of change in the entropy of the thermodynamic process that is occurring, and this will give us the measurement of the randomness of the system, that is going to the randomness of the system during the thermodynamic process, whether it will increase or decrease. Now, delta S or S both are state function and extensive property. Both are delta S, change in the entropy is a state function, and extensive property. It do not depends on the pathway through which the process is occurring. It only depends on the initial and final state of the system, and it though by definition it feel like that the entropy of the system depends on how much more freely a molecule, constant weight particles are moving in a system or not. Maybe it feel like it depends on individual particles freedom, but actually entropy factor depends on the freedom of the collective constant particle, not a single constant particle. That's why entropy by definition is depend on the numbers of constant particle present, because the freedom of the collective constant particle define the entropy of the system. That's why it is an extensive property also. So by definition, entropy is the measurement of the randomness of the system. It is not the randomness of the system, it measures the randomness of the system. A tool, a mathematical property which helps us in measuring the randomness of the system. It is not the randomness of the system. So by definition, entropy is the measure of the randomness of the system. If the change in the entropy define how much amount of change has occurred during a thermodynamic process in the randomness of the system. It is mathematically defined as the ds equals to delta Q reversible by T. Delta Q reversible is the reversible heat exchange between the system and the surroundings during a reversible thermodynamic process and T is the absolute temperature of the absolute constant temperature of this during this thermodynamic process. These two ratio gives the value of change in the internal change in the entropy of the system during this thermodynamic process. If we integrate this value, we will get the finite amount of entropy change that is occurring during the process and is given by delta S equals to 1 by T integration 1 by final step to initial state to final state delta Q reversible. When a thermodynamic system undergoes a thermodynamic transformation, the entropy of the system changes from one state to the another state, and the change in the entropy is given as delta S equals to S2 minus of S1, where S2 is the entropy in the final step, state, and S1 is the entropy in the initial state, and delta S is the change in the entropy after this transformation. Now, if the entropy in the final state, that is the S2, is greater than the entropy in the initial state, that is S1, in that case we will get delta S to be positive in value, that is the entropy has increased after this transformation, like in the case for when liquid water is heated and after this transformation water vapor is produced. In this transformation, entropy of the system increases, delta S is positive. So, this is an example of the thermodynamic process, a spontaneous thermodynamic process in which delta S has increased. But if delta S2, the entropy in the final state is lesser compared to the entropy in the initial state, that is from the S1. In that case, the delta S is going to be negative. This means that the entropy of the system has decreased after this process. And spontaneous reaction, as an example that we can study, is that when liquid water form ice when temperature reduces. In this process, entropy of the system decreases, but still this is an spontaneous process. Forming of ice from liquid water is a spontaneous process, and in this process entropy of the system decreases. Now, let's study some of the thermodynamic process and see how the entropy of the system varies depending on the process that we're talking about. The first process that we will going to talk about in the change in entropy in a process due to chemical reaction. Delta S in chemical reaction. Now, supposedly this is the chemical reaction, A of A reacting with B of B and producing C of C and D of D. Now, the total entropy of this product S is Cs. The entropy of the product, entropy due to the product D is Sd. So, the total entropy of the reactant is Sr, is given by C whole into Sc plus C D whole into D whole into Sd. And in similar way, the entropy due to the reactant A is Sa, let's say, and the entropy of the product reactant B, let's say it's SB. So the total entropy due to the reactant is going to be SP equals to A of SA plus of B of SB. So this is going to be the total entropy of the reactant, and this is going to be the total entropy of the product. So due to this chemical reaction, entropy will change, and the change in the entropy of the reaction is going to be given as total entropy of the product minus of the total entropy of the reactant. This is how the total entropy change of the chemical reaction we can find out. Now let's look at the next thermodynamic process, that is the cyclic process. Entropy is a state function. Now, as for cyclic process, the initial state and the final state is similar, so the S2 becomes S1 for the cyclic process. That's why in cyclic process, delta S equals to S2 minus S1 is 0. That is, there is no such change in the entropy that can be observed after a cyclic process. The third process that we are going to talk about is the reversible adiabatic process. Now, the basic mathematical definition of entropy says that dS equals to delta Q reversible divided by T. Now, in adiabatic process, irreversible adiabatic process, there is no exchange of heat that can be observed. As a result of this, delta S is also 0. That is, in a reversible adiabatic process, there is no change in the entropy that can be observed. In the next thermodynamic process that we are going to talk about is the irreversible adiabatic process. For irreversible process, for the irreversible adiabatic process, though no heat exchange can be observed in adiabatic process, but as the process is irreversible in nature, the delta is found to be slightly less than slightly greater than 0 instead of 0. The next thermodynamic process is the isothermal reversible process. Isothermal reversible process. Now, isothermal means the temperature of the system is constant. It is a reversible process. So in isothermal reversible process, the delta S is going to be the basic mathematical definition of the change in the entropy, that is ds equals to delta Q reversible divided by T. This is going to be the mathematical expression for an entropy change in isothermal reversible process. The next thermodynamic process is the phase transfer process. This is going to be the last thermodynamic process that we are going to study today. Phase transfer process. Phase transfer process occurs at constant temperature. Sorry, at constant pressure condition. As the pressure of the process is constant, the change in the exchange in the exchange in the heat is equivalent with the difference in enthalpy at constant pressure. We already has established this relationship in our previous class. So as delta Q reversible at constant pressure is equal to the dH, that's why the equation of entropy change dS can be written as delta Q reversible divided by T equals to delta H P by T for any phase transfer process like transformation of transformation of some material from solid state to liquid state to vapor state or gaseous state and vice versa. Those kind of phase transfer process always involved in the entropy change, and that can be defined mathematically as delta dH by T. A mathematical expression has been constructed to experimentally calculate the change in the entropy in an isothermal reversible process. The mathematical expression is delta S equals to 2.303 nR log of V2 by V1 or 2.303 R 2.303 nR log of P1 by P2. This is the mathematical expression which can be used to calculate the change in the entropy in an isothermal reversible process. We already had established that entropy change, the randomness of the system, define whether a thermodynamic process is going to be spontaneous or non-spontaneous. Now, entropy change define or entropy change actually is a tool that we use to observe the randomness of the system, change in the randomness of the system. So, indirectly, the change in the entropy actually determine whether a system, thermodynamic system, after the process will go to a spontaneous process or a non-spontaneous process. So the spontaneity of a thermodynamic process indirectly can be observed on the basis of the change in the entropy. Now, when we are talking about change in the entropy, we are talking about the change in the entropy in the system. Now, when the change in the entropy increases in the system, the process that the system is undergoing, the process that the system has undergone is a spontaneous process. On the contrary to that, when the system increases its entropy, the surroundings of the system decreases its entropy. So, when the system increases its entropy, this process is spontaneous, but the system, the entropy of the surroundings decreases in that case. And these two as a total gives us the entropy change in the universe, which is delta S universe equals to delta S system plus delta S surroundings. Now, all the natural processes occurring in universe are irreversible in nature, and we know that the total entropy in the universe always increases. Therefore, universe is irreversible in nature, and we know that delta S universe equals to delta S system plus delta S surroundings is greater than 0. So indirectly this is the logic for the irreversible process in which the delta S system, delta S of the universe always increases. But that is not the case for a reversible process. In a reversible process, delta S of the system is always equal with the magnitude, with the change in the delta S of the surroundings. Only the sign of the change in the delta S is opposite, that is delta S of system equals to negative of delta S of the surroundings. This will lead to delta S of the universe equals to delta S of the system plus of delta S of the surroundings equals to 0. So for an irreversible process, delta S of universe is always increasing greater than 0, and for the reversible process, delta S of this universe always remains same, do not change. Delta S of the universe is actually 0. Now this entire theory helps us in understanding how entropy change of the system and universe and the surroundings helps us in understanding whether a process is going to be spontaneous or not. Let's chalk out in a chart this entire theory. Let's give the value of delta S system, delta S surroundings, comparison, delta S universe, spontaneity. Now let's see how one by one condition will define whether a system is whether a process is going to be spontaneous or not. If in a process delta S system is increasing positive in value, delta S of the system is also positive, that is delta S greater than 0. This in this for the delta S for the surroundings also greater than 0. Comparison, in comparison, if delta S system greater than delta S surroundings or delta S system less than delta S surroundings. In both the case, as the delta S of the system is increasing and the surroundings also increasing, the delta S of this universe, which is the combine of delta S of system and surroundings, will also lead to the increasing of delta S system. So delta S of the universe will also lead to greater than 1, as the delta S of the system is increasing. In that case, it will be a spontaneous process. SP. Let's go to next condition. Let's say delta S of system is increasing greater than 1, but delta S surroundings decreasing less than 1. Now there is two conditions that can happen. if delta S of this system, the magnitude of delta S system is greater than delta S surroundings, in that case, this will lead to delta S universe as delta S of universe positive term, that is greater than 0. This will give spontaneous reaction SP. But if the magnitude of delta S system is lesser compared to the magnitude or numerical value of delta S surroundings, in that case these two will lead to delta S universe to be negative, that is decreasing, that is less than 0. This will give a non-spontaneous process, NSP. Mind it, delta S of the system is still increasing. We are talking about a thermodynamic process where the system, the delta S, the entropy of the system is increasing, but still the thermodynamic process is actually non-spontaneous. Let's go to next one. Delta S system less than 0 and delta S of surroundings greater than 0. There is again going to be two factor. If the numerical value of delta S system becomes greater than delta S of the surroundings, in that case these two will combining give delta S of the universe to be negative, less than 0. This will lead to non-spontaneous process, NSP. But if this process delta S system is lesser, numerical value is lesser compared to delta S surroundings, these two will, by combining, will give delta S universe greater than 0. So the process will be spontaneous. If delta S system is less than 0 and delta S surroundings also less than 0, this will, by combining, give delta S universe in any way, whether the numerical value of delta S system is greater than or less than delta S surrounding. In both these case, delta S universe will be less than 0 and this will lead to a non-spontaneous process. So when we are comparing the delta S and then we are saying whether a process is going to be spontaneous and non-spontaneous, we have to consider the spontaneity of whether the delta S of the entire universe increasing or decreasing, increasing or decreasing, because the main factor is that in a spontaneous process the delta S of the universe is always going to be greater than 1, greater than 0, a positive value. If the delta S of the universe is decreasing, then in that case the process is a non-spontaneous process. Now the delta S of the universe is defined by the delta S of the system plus of the delta S of the surroundings. Now we have to then consider if the delta S of the system increasing and if the delta S of the surroundings increasing or decreasing, and what is the numerical value of both of them. By considering all these factors, if the delta S value of this universe is found to be increasing, in only in that case we can say that this process is a spontaneous process. If the delta S of the universe is decreasing after considering all these factors, in that case we will say that the process is a non-spontaneous process.